All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. It comes down to the final seeding match between these two teams, Phyrexian Dawn up in the top red, and of course they are Rasu in the top lane, Psychotherapy, the jungler, the teleport Tryndamere, that's something we don't get to see too often, and Toshin in the mid, Lol changes the AD carry, and Yejinaz is going to be the support.
And of course for the side of Fission, we've been following their winter qualifier story throughout the night and seen some exciting victories from them. It's going to be Yellow Asian guy up top, a Zingy in the jungle, Boo 222 in the mid lane, and I am the IRS and Indivisible running out the bottom lane.
That indivisible individual, as we saw. IRS actually going to get spotted out on this ward. We'll get at least one shot on it, but a lot of members here for Phyrexian Dawn making moves to try and muscle away any attempts at an invade. So far, it just looks like a pretty standard setup, though, from the side of Fission. They're not interested in anything really crazy, because this team that they're facing down is definitely got to have a few screws loose to pull something like this.
These are really interesting item starts on the side of Phyrexian Dawn here. The Doran's Blade 1 potion start for the jungle Tryndamere. I am not knowledgeable enough about jungle Tryndamere to know if that's a good start or not, but we'll have to keep an eye on him. And of course the cloth 5 pot start for Nasus up in the top lane. You always want to just go for a complete sustain, either flask or full pots to be able to make it to that early game as Nasus.
When was the last time we really saw jungle Tryndamere? And when was the last time we saw Doran's Blade start, too, for an AD jungler? I mean, it's such a throwback, it's really hard to remember.
Like 3 years ago.
We're talking season, what, 1?
Mid-plat solo queue, maybe.
Yeah. That's before lanes were a thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of lanes, they're getting started. So this will be a nice and easy blue buff take for both the junglers. Zingy actually not even getting a leash here, doesn't really need one. However, Lol Change is going to go down solo to his lane as I am the IRS and Indivisible take their place. And it looks to be a nice and simple start. Rasu, his job up in the top lane now is going to be avoid every one of those shock blasts and see if he can hold out picking up those stacks.
Yeah, still going to be a rough time for him. I mean, I can imagine it's going to be a rough time for most of these lanes. Except for maybe Intoshin, just because Orianna is not the most aggressive mid laner. She can play aggressively. Whoa, what a dodge by Indivisible. That was really impressive.
Mm-hmm. And Janaz and Null Change is actually taking quite a lot more damage there as they get the vision of it as well. Phosphorus bomb lending a hand. There's no Braum this game. And yeah, they're getting pushed in a little bit slowly. You have to start a little more aggressively than this if you're Phyrexian Dawn, if you want to make plays. And speaking of, a Zingy, he's going to find Psychotherapy. Surprise, there's a cat in the bush, and he gets the Bulla on, looking to refresh his blue buffs. There's no flash available for this Tryndamere. He's going to take it. First blood goes onto Intoshin as the command Protect comes in. Abu getting that as a second spell. And he's going to get, looks like 3 buffed.
Yeah, that's the risk of starting with the Doran's Blade. You're just not healthy enough to really sustain up much in that jungle. And this is already looking really grim for the side of Phyrexian Dawn. Up in that top lane, though, Rasu, he's got 62 armor at level 2. That's pretty absurd. You can tell he's going for those defensive runes. He can just sit there and tank it.
I mean, he's still taking a lot of damage, though. You see him
69
getting
armor
by a couple of minions. But yeah, everyone's taking a lot of a boost. I can't speak anymore, man. This game has just tied my tongue in knots. And Toshin now making a move towards this mid, but he started very defensively with the Doran's shield too. That's another curious happenstance. And Lol Changes and Janaz are in a bit of trouble. I don't know why this Tristan is hanging around. He's actually getting his health bar melted pretty low here. Janaz is tanking it. He's going to go down with the heal, but they find IRS in a bad spot who has to burn his flash and his heal, so a little over-aggressive. Speaking of aggression, as Zingy now going to have to contend for his red. Psychotherapy and Intoshin are on the run, but they're going to get caught between IRS and Indivisible. Spin to win over into the Dragon Pit. Intoshin's not so lucky. He's going to go down as Zingy will pick him off. Changes didn't even go back. And Psychotherapy, what is he doing there? He could have gotten away, and now he's being chased down by this 3-man squad. This game's starting off pretty bloody.
he's juking him out a little bit, though. He should be able to survive this. He could just...
No one expects the Spanish in transition. I tried.
Yeah, well...
I'm pretty bad at puns.
It was a valiant effort, but he's going to be able to teleport out of there, and I guess that's why you take teleport on the jungle Tryndamere.
On jungle Tryndamere. You know what? He could have just gone smiteless at this rate. Just gotten Ignite just for the hell of it.
He's going to be finding most of the experience from lanes anyway at this point, I'd imagine, because he hasn't been able to...
Lanes, man. He's going to duel this game.
Okay, now he's good. Now he can start doing work.
All right, so here we go. So safe to say, a reasonable lead starting up for Fission. They've got 2 kills to nil right now. They have a reasonable amount of control over their lanes. There's definite level advantages, and nobody's really putting any pressure here. I kind of get the feeling Rasu might be in a little bit of trouble soon, since he's doing the best out of all these lanes. Getting his Q stacks up to about 60, so not too bad for a 5-minute Nasus.
And down that bottom lane, law changes, and oh man, I can't even say it.
He's already Janaz, yeah.
Oh, Janaz.
Already
Janaz. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Oh, Rasu. He's in a little trouble once again, and actually, even with the Wither on, he's still taking a lot of damage. Hard for him to farm this one out. And Yellow Asian guy trying his best to zone. Meanwhile, the bot lane, once again, it does not stop the action just because we moved to another lane to observe. Low changes. The Valk, the jump. Does he have the damage? He might have a Phosphorus Bomb. Instead, he's going to go for Janaz, and he's actually going to force the flash heal out of low changes. They might find Janaz anyways. Indivisible, though, taking a lot of damage from the black pool. But it's IRS getting himself a kill. Here comes Intoshin, though. Still level 5. Doesn't have the Death Lotus, but he does pick up the IRS anyways. Maybe Indivisible as well. Not quite enough damage.
Does manage to pick up 1 kill, though, and he's actually keeping up and even a little bit ahead of Abu 222 and CS in that mid lane. So I mentioned, if there's going to be a win condition for Phyrexian Dawn, it's Intoshin getting absurdly fed in the mid game, enough to carry this super late game focused team into a position where they can maybe carry it out. They're still a little bit far behind, though.
But like you said, you had to qualify the win condition as if there is one, and that's what's the problem with this comp. It's just so haphazardly focused on the late game that they're kind of getting pushed in really hard. And I mean, that was a good roam from Intoshin. Not to take that away from him, he got a kill. He got a little bit more gold in his pocket. He did allow Abu to kind of even things up, but I mean, this is a really strange laning phase, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah, I mean, Razu up at the top lane, he's managing to hold on to that CS. Goes back, picks up first item, Glacial Shroud. So let's take a look at that armor count. 100 armor. 100 armor, level 6. I'm sure Yellow Asian guy is going to want to get Brutalizer Last Whisper really quick into this game.
Yeah, he's going to need it too. He also has a couple of double Dorans as well right there, so as well as the Tear of the Goddess. Meanwhile, the bot lane, Janaz doesn't seem too perturbed by the fact that they're getting shoved in real hard there. Has a nice laugh at the expense of IRS, and meanwhile, the mids and the tops are just trading it out. I haven't really seen a whole lot this game from Azingi just yet. He's kind of waiting for that level 6 magical mark to hit. Yeah,
he's picked up a couple kills, but that was only from that really risky invade that happened from the side of Phyrexian Dawn. But yeah, you said it. He's going for that level 6, and once he gets that level 6, he's going to be in a great position with magics and mobility boots already built to get some potent ganks down on this map.
Yeah, and every one of these trades has really gone in favor of Fission so far. The roam down bot, notwithstanding from Intoshin. Psychotherapy having trouble just farming up his jungle to stay relevant here. As you mentioned, not having that jungling item makes it difficult in this. I want to call it the new jungle, but it's about to change, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's new for Tryndamere. Let's go with that.
And I think it's always going to be new for Tryndamere.
That's like watching Firefly for the first time this year. Yeah. It's new for you, but that doesn't make it new. Yeah. Okay, Dragon's going to get started. It's 8.5 minutes. They're bringing over Abu 222. Janaz has been taking so much abuse from this bot lane. I don't think it's even a wise idea to get involved, and they're going to get a timer on this, but they have to know there's no way to contest it. So a reasonable 2,500 gold extra go into the pockets of Fission. Excuse me. They're ahead by that much, and they're still just kind of rocking and rolling all over these lanes.
Yeah, and Rasu is just being a wall up in the top lane. He used his ultimate and somehow managed to get himself back up to full health, even while just taking constant auto attack and shock blast harass from Yellow Asian guy. And he's a little bit behind in CS, but in a lane that is really rough for most melees against Jace, he's holding up okay.
Yeah, not too bad. And, his stacks haven't really suffered despite the CS differential. He's currently sitting on 129. That's not a terrible place to be at 9.5 minutes in. It's reasonable. And now Azingi is going to make some moves. It's Janaz they target, but he is able to get away at the expense of, well, really not much. But lull changes now. The burst is real there, and he actually has to expend his buster shot. One big one nearly polishes him off, and this has been the story of this bot lane for Phyrexian Dawn this whole game.
Yeah, lull changes is keeping himself in the game with the CS, but they're just being bullied so hard, and
Oh, the Valve IRS. He has the damage, and he's behind the line now. They find the bubble onto Janaz, and this could be the double, but Psychotherapy's here. It's actually Yellow Asian guy that was able to pick him off. There was a teleport followed by a teleport. Psychotherapy should be able to find Indivisible here, but Azingi and crew are all there to answer it back. Undying Rage will keep him alive for now.
Yeah, the last rocket almost got him, but Nintosian could be in trouble.
Oh, the shockwave, they landed. Katarina get knocked into that one, and even though he shunpoed on over, Abu was still able to polish off that kill. So a big amount of map control right now to Fission, and they don't even need the tower just yet. They're still looking for kills.
Yeah, 4K gold lead. This one's looking just really good from Fission. Yeah, 10.5 minutes. That's a pretty early point in the game to get that big of a gold lead, and now they're going to be able to pick up at least damage on these turrets, if not be able to pick up this mid lane turret from Abu. And the one saving grace is that I guess Razu got some free farm up in the top lane on Nasus, which is definitely going to translate well.
I mean, you know, it's a strange composition. It's a strange game, regardless of what happens. They will answer a turret, or rather, they will get the turret in the middle. Finally, that's Abu going to be picking that one up. But it's almost making you wonder that maybe they're just trying out something a little unorthodox since they've already made it in. This is really only for seeding, and they're not too worried about Fission eSports. And you can tell they're playing a little bit with a casual air.
Yep. Maybe their plan is to stall the game until 70 minutes when Nasus is nearly unkillable and one-shots anybody that hasn't built any defensive items.
Dude, this whole game has really been difficult to pronounce, and pretty much this whole story of Fission coming up too. It's been a really, really interesting ride for them. I mean, we didn't even know they were going to be playing in this tournament until today. So a really cool run from them so far.
They actually registered for the tournament about 10 minutes before the games happened, and about 1 minute before the last call was gone out. So they were very last-minute enters, and I mean, it was worth it for them. They made it in, and they beat out a couple of good teams. We saw Maria's Maid Cafe with Baby Zeus earlier on today, and then UCLA's Call Gaming. They went through both of them, so this should give them not only a spot in the Black Monster Cup, but a little bit of confidence boost going into the expansion tournament.
The Yellow Asian guy might have been in a bit of trouble, but the bot lane might be in worse. They're zoning out as best they can. A triple bubble and a tidal wave going to connect to keep them alive. And wow, that is a turnaround 2v4 right now. Indivisible and IRS given a lot better than they take. And meanwhile, look at that. Top lane second tier turrets already getting fired down as they keep this one going. Psychotherapy still interested in kills, but this game is just absolutely going over to Fission in complete control. No idea why Psychotherapy keeps going in for another round. They get the turret, yes, but at what cost?
Yeah. Meanwhile, up in the top lane now, Razu actually pushes Yellow Asian guy out of the lane, forces his flash. Oh, yep. Here comes the Zingy.
Yeah, they're going to make something of this one. It's Janaz blowing up pretty quickly, but they find changes. They find the ball. That's Abu getting one more pickup, and they find the shockwave. No, they don't. Little changes flashing at the last second, but they can still keep moving forward. There's a tower here. How much longer is that going to be?
Not too much longer. They should be able to take this one relatively easily. And that's going to solidify them quite a big goal lead, about 6,000, almost 5,500, I guess.
Rasu needs to get those stacks up, man, if he wants to stay relevant in this kind of game. He's at 216 now, but, well, he might need a few more if he wants to put this team on his back.
The frozen heart. It's you can just see the frustration in Yellow Asian guy's face as he tries to
steal away a golem.
As he tries to poke Razu out. Those shock blasts, those empowered shock blasts are barely even tickling him.
Everything else is doing pretty well, though. Once he's in hammer form, he deals a bit more damage, but then he gets onto Rasu's level. Has to be careful to avoid some of those shots. Meanwhile, the bot lane, the chase is on again. But can Psychotherapy catch IRS? The Valkyrie is not available just yet, and he has to spend his heal. Uh-oh, that is going to be a combo there with the Q and W from Morgana. Psychotherapy will finally find the kill he was looking for, but they expended quite a lot of effort to do it.
Yeah. Third time's the charm for Psychotherapy going in now in the bottom lane.
And Tojin now looking for the red reset. He finds a Zingy. Actually not even interested in him. Okay, you can have my red. I'm going for Yellow Asian guy. And they find a shock blast on him. The bull is not going to connect. And they might turn this one around. Asian guy's pretty low, but here comes a Zingy, and he's just chasing down the Katarina. This isn't one fight. This is two. And one's already won. Rasu not responding in time. And that was a little curious.
Yeah, Rasu was completely out of mana. And then Toshin probably could have gone in a 1v1 against the Zingy and would have been better off for him. Oh, the Nami ultimate and the bubble.
Yep, you find Psychotherapy. He does have his Undying Rage available, and he's spinning away anyways. So they won't be able to find the revenge kill, but maybe Abu will, and he's moving as fast as he can. And there we go. A little bit more damage, auto attacks in tow, and they find the shockwave. He's going to have to ult, and he will. He's got nowhere to go, though. Can he spin into the wall? Looks like he can, but the damage is still following him, and they take him down. It's indivisible with the burn. Dragon is up now, and this is still perfect for Fission as they just keep on extending this lead.
Yeah, easy Dragon, and you can tell that this is just not the ideal team comp for Phyrexian Dawn. Fission.
Applaud them for trying different things.
Exactly, and valiant effort, but it just doesn't seem like this is going to be a successful thing for them. They can scratch Jungle Tryndamere, Tristana, and Nasus in the same team comp off the board.
Yeah, keep the Katarina though, right?
Keep the Katarina.
Yeah, at this point, it's definitely Fission. I mean, that's really early to say, but it's still Fission's game to lose this one. I mean, we saw they had trouble closing out. If they do let this team get into an incredibly late game state, past 35 minutes, it's going to be really, really rough for them. But you can pretty much scratch Tryndamere off the list of, you know, needing to deal with at this point, because they found a way to shut him down effectively.
Yeah. Has picked up a couple kills, though.
Well, I mean, yeah, the fact that it's really hard to kill a Tryndamere when he's chasing you. But,
Very
yeah.
true.
It's kind of like a fundamental rule of the universe.
Yep.
One does not simply kill Tryndamere.
Especially when he has teleport.
Asian guy, though. Get chicken, get exhausted. Oh, he's got to go to the teleport. Does he get away in time? We're going to see. It looks like he will. And he gets all the way down to the bot side. Whoa. Timely spell usage there.
That was close, and that last wind-up from the staff there, from the cane from Nasus was about to connect, and he just barely got that teleport out, and they should be able to push down. Whoa, he actually teleported behind him.
Yeah, he's still chasing. He's not done. This guy does not give up. Psychotherapy still chasing on, but Yellow Asian guy's got his team at his back now, and they might be looking for a couple of towers here. Yeah, this guy does not let you go.
You have to respect the persistence.
Yeah, well, may not be persistent for much longer. He's got the ult up, and he's going to have to use it. Here we go, Undying Rage once again, but it seems like a matter of time. Meanwhile, at the tower, and Toshin having to get his Zanyas on. IRS trying to find the damage to finish him off, but he doesn't have enough in the tank. And Indivisible, he's really low. So is the Zingy, but they're still going for this one. They did manage to finish off Psychotherapy. Shock Blast going to connect, and Toshin's down. One big one will be all it takes, and they should pick up the tower here. Everybody's blinking health bars at this point, though.
Oh, IRS going in, though.
Much longer. Oh, he picks him off. Can he get lull changes? He needs a phosphorus bomb. He needs a big one. Forces the jump instead. They're still going for this. Psychotherapy's up. And Toshin and Yejinaz are still ticking away, but the death timers are so low. It looks like this is a 30-minute game, but this is only 18.
Meanwhile, Razu up in the top lane.
Farm those stacks. Let's go,
Doing what Nasus does. And let's get a stack report here.
Stack
looks
reports.
like 340. 340 stacks.
345, excuse you, sir.
Oh, the third number's cut off. I guess I could look at the damage. There you go, 345.
Yeah. Well, he's going to need them. He's got himself another Glacial Shroud now, still sitting on basic boots. But I don't know if the tower's going to last long enough here.
I doubt they will. And it looks like this composition from Fission has the ability to close games out early.
Nope. Found lull changes. Indivisible. They know something's wrong when the support's chasing down the AD carry.
Yeah. I don't think lull changes could even 1v1 if he wanted to.
Well, he went for the early Static Shiv, which was a popular Tristana build for a while, but you have seen since the changes, she's fallen off in favor a little bit, and they're going for this one. Shockwave going to connect, and they get the delivery. Rasu now going down. IRS going to stop the stacks for just a couple of minutes, and they should be able to pick off this tower, or at least try. Again, Psychotherapy is just chasing around Nami, but he gets juked.
It's one of the first times that I've seen Jace used as the ball delivery system for an Orianna Shockwave.
Things can happen in a game with Jungle Tryndamere with teleport.
Yes, they can. Oh, Zingy.
Yeah, that tower's already gone. They're going to take this 2v2 as Zingy's here, but this is actually a 2v3. They just realized that the wave's going to stop Psychotherapy for a second, but they still have a follow-up damage, and they pop him! He's unable to use his ult. That was still sitting on cooldown there. And wow, okay. So one more pickup, one more turret. They're in the base. They're firing inhibitors. This game is just one of the craziest I've seen, but it can really only go one way. Fission is looking to knock down the base.
Yeah, inhibitor down at 19 minutes usually spells bad things for the opposing team, and I mean, A for effort here, because they're really trying to make things happen in this game, but their team comp just doesn't really allow them much flexibility in that regard.
Yeah, definitely talk about telegraphing your movements. This is just a really, really rough matchup for them, and you know, it's a little self-inflicted when you take choices like that, but Fission knows how to punish these things. Also, they have, you know, a pretty large CC train. Even if Psychotherapy does get his ult off, like he was able to, it doesn't save his life, and even so, he's not really got the damage in the back of his items to really follow up with anything. So this just seems like a slow slide down to the end of the game.
They can just plop yellow Asian guy in that mid lane. Super minions are going to be really hard to deal with. I guess Nasus is one of the people that you'd want on your team to deal with a super minion wave, because he'd probably just be farming in that lane anyway.
Yeah. I think they're going to just kind of let him do it. Now you see some counter jungle effort here from Psychotherapy. He's going to try to make himself a little bit more relevant here, but they have to defend these inhibitor turrets, and only 3 members here in Tojin. The premature Black Shield, they are going to catch Indivisible with a Dark Bind, but it seems like it's just a stall effort here. There is really nothing going their way with the exception of that top lane. Rasu continues to get his stacks on as best he can. Gonna teleport right now. Is he gonna be able to get back and defend this one? Yellow Asian guy's been able to take him before, but he's taken quite a bit of damage from those pokes there. The one more wither is on him. He's actually taken a lot. Has to hammer form back. Flash away. Okay. And they're able to defend for now, but this other inhibitor turret's getting fired down. I don't even know where to look, man. This is crazy.
Well, we got Psychotherapy down here proxying the wave. Oh man, this is just nuts.
They're gonna get the ball. It's on a Zingy. They don't want to use it. And Tojin gets his Death Lotus to Zingy. He could go down here, running as fast as he can. Shock Blast, not enough. And Tojin finally going down, but answers a Zingy back. They get lull changes. They have Psychotherapy. It's a 3v3. This is about as even as this game's gonna get. Who's gonna come out on top? Psychotherapy, Undying Rage, IRS kiting away, trying to deal the damage on back. Rasu frontlining as best he can, but it's not going to be enough. Can they finish him up with the damage? It looks like they will. Not before he shuts down IRS. One more bite takes him down. One shot, and it is still going absolutely nuts. But again, I can't help but thinking every single one of these fights, no matter how bad it gets, Fission keeps on going forward. They get another turret.
And Psychotherapy gets executed by the super minions. Oh boy.
Not even that. Oh no, it is a super minion. You're right. Yeah. Well, they've lost the tower at the Nexus. They could lose more. Lull changes Janaz, doing everything they can, man. But this is getting rough.
A valiant defense effort. They managed to pick up a couple of kills, but losing that inhibitor turret, losing that Nexus turret, it looks like this last push is going to be the death push coming from Fission eSports. They should be able to close this one out.
First.
Check
it out, Abu.
That would help. He's pinging it. He really wants it.
Nah, they're gonna play the safe game. If there's one thing we've definitely learned about Fission eSports today, they're definitely a team that's a bit adverse to risk taking. So they'll do what they can to push this one forward. A massive gold lead, 15,000. It's 23 minutes. If they can't close this one out, they're gonna have some troubles in the expansion tournament.
Yeah, they could pile right on down any lane and be able to close it out pretty easily. They don't have a dedicated front line, but it really doesn't matter when you're this far ahead. 15,000 gold at 23 minutes into the game.
Gonna chase down Psychotherapy. His ult's on. He's gonna last a few more seconds, but not very long. That should be one more shot taking him out. It's Indivisible that manages to get it. Looks like an auto attack for just a second. So here we go, 5 members strong. They push up towards this open inhibitor. They did get one back, so for the time being, Phyrexian Dawn has all 3 inhibitors, but I think that's about to change, Azumo. Here we go, one shot, taken down. They move towards the mid. They need to take this turret before they can do it. Will they be able to get to it? They're actually just going to proxy the minions for a second. There's only one Nexus turret remaining, so they go all the way across to try and take out the next inhibitor. Again, slow and methodical is the name of the game if you're Fission eSports.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Phyrexian Dawn wants to put up much of a fight here.
Well, they'll try. They do get a few shots there, but Rasu having to run away from all the damage, going big. Does he have enough? Janaz should be able to get the 4-man Soul Shackles, but he runs away before it completes on anyone but Indivisible, and that is going to be the big turnaround. Well, I guess it's not even really a turnaround at this point, because any fight they take is going to be a disadvantage, and at this point, Fission should be able to end this game, but they're taking their time. Split push Tryndamere, Psychotherapy, what can you do? He's going to try something.
Yeah, he's proxying the super minion waves to block the super minions from the top and hit from being coming down. So, but it looks like that's going to be it.
Get there in time. This looks like it's close to ending. 25 minutes, one of the fastest games we've had today. And the first seed team in this group, Fission eSports, going to take down the Nexus of Phyrexian Dawn.
Yeah, a little bit of a fun game there to close it out, but the other games that we saw from Fission eSports tonight were extremely exciting. And you got to hand it to Phyrexian Dawn as well. They managed to qualify for the winter Black Monster Cup, so we will be seeing them trying to have some fun with that seeding games. I know they're going up against a good team in Fission, maybe trying out something new.
This is giving me a pretty good idea, though. I think in the future maybe we go all the way to the seeding match, right? And then we play it on Earth mode.
Oh, jeez. That would actually be really exciting. I think the raw mechanical skill really shines in those fun modes, so that can really show a lot about a team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see how it works for them. But again, we have our finals. Oh, well, rather our final rosters set up, or our final teams set up for the Black Monster Cup. Qualifying, of course, out of all of our qualifiers, we have Level Havoc Gaming, Inertia from the first qualifier. They automatically seeded since didn't have any opponents to play. Monster Kittens, Ninja Penguins coming out of qualifier number 2. Glory Eternal and Frost Gaming come out of 3. And finally, we have Phyrexian Dawn, the number 2 seed, and Fission eSports, the number 1 seed. And that way we'll join the remaining 8 teams. I think we actually only have 7 confirmed since Boreal disbanded, but we should have more information on that one soon. But we've got the winner Black Monster Cup all ready to go.
Yeah, it should be a really exciting season. Of course, we got the invites from the last season. There are some dates on the website, but I don't think those are 100% confirmed yet. So keep updated on blackmonstercup.com/NA. And right on the front page there should be an updated schedule. I'm not sure if it's going to happen before or after the expansion tournament keeps place, but keep updated on our Twitter and on that website to be sure when we go live with the first days of group stages.
Yeah, so that's it. That's going to be all for us today. The qualifiers are all wrapped up, so guys, keep in touch to make sure that you can check out all that Black Monster Cup action here on ESL TV. We will see you next time. Thanks for watching. GG and good.